All right, come on, everybody. How we doing? It's John from Pro Craps here on our Casino Gaming Central, I guess, on House Edge Live. We might have a shortened show today. I was on the phone with my wife about 10 minutes ago, and our dogs got into a fight while I was talking to her, so she's dealing with them. So I may have to go back and talk to her again. Anyway, we're doing this series on when do you go kind of go for it, and when do you sort of pull back. And Joe from Craftmaster Journey started the conversation with us about really when do you transition from like a more conservative play into something that's more hardcore. And so we've kind of covered the when. I think we covered that pretty well yesterday. Today I want to look at some of the ways how. And I want to kind of jump right into it because again, I don't know how long this show is going to go today. So I'm going to skip the normal intro stuff and hop right into my table and just start talking to you about ways to kind of go for it. And we'll maybe do some more of this tomorrow. And I think in the coming weeks, I think it's a fun topic to talk about. But let's get over here and just kind of rock the table a little bit. And here's the thing. How do I say this right? On all these YouTube channels, right? And I'm one of them, obviously, so I know I'm part of the problem. All the strategies fall into two categories, I think, right? One category of strategy is how do I get even? Most strategies are, let me get out of the hand really quick. Let me find a way to kind of get even. And there's a million ways to do that, or at least hundreds of ways to do that. The other kind of strategies are, what do I do when I get even? Or what do I do when I'm up? How do I take advantage of a long roll? And I'm going to talk specifically about craps. But again, the concept here spans games. And I'll give you an example. I was looking at this last night. If you think about the magical roll, okay, in craps, a magic roll might be 30, okay? In blackjack, the magic run is 6, maybe 7. In baccarat, 6 in a row, okay? There's a way in those games to really kind of attack the game in one of those runs. Now, again, you don't know when the run's going to happen. We don't have tea leaves to project that, but let's just take Bach, for example. We'll do a quick Baccarat example, or blackjack. And I'll put the money in the come. This is my bet, okay? Now, if I just same bet it, and I just take 3, 4, 5, 6 wins in a row, right? I just take 6 wins, and I same bet them. It's 6 chips. It's 6 units, right? That's the most you can win if you win 6 in a row, is 6 units. Now, if you're a little bit aggressive with this, and again, I'll take blackjack as the example, as a 1-unit bet. And let's say I do a 3-leg parlay, just 3, right? I take a win and I press it, that's win 1. I take a win and I press it, that's win 2. Now, after 2 wins, by the way, I'm just about even, right, with the other guy. On that 3rd win, when I win 8 units, after my original, I'm up 7, right? If I can hang in there for 3 full presses, 3 parlays on a blackjack game or a baccarat game where 3 in a row happens all the time, right? You would be 7 units ahead. I'm sorry, yeah, 7 units up. This guy had 6. I'm not sure why I was wrong. This guy had 6 units. You're 7 units, so you're 1 unit better than the other guy. If you can last for 3 and not pull any money back. The difference is this guy here, as he's winning his 6 in a row, is pulling money back all the time, right? You can surpass what it takes him a miracle to get in 3 hits if you're willing to kind of stay in and do a full press each time. If you're really crazy and you want to go for the 6 in a row, check this out. $25, right? There's 1 win. There's 2 wins. There's 3 in a row. Here's 4 in a row. Stack it up, okay? Here's the 5th win in a row. And on win number 6, if you can withstand it, I need all my chips to do it, okay? Look at the amount of win. If you can do 6 in a row, it's a miracle. But it's no different than craps, right? Finding a miracle in craps, there's your original unit. And what you end up with is this, almost 20. There's 20, 40, 63 units, 63 quarters. If you can withstand 6 in a row, if you can get to 6 in a row. Here's a funny thing, right? When I play blackjack, I get to 4 or 5 almost all the time. I've seen 6 in a row probably 10 times in the last 6 months. This happens all the time. For the guys who play martingale, who say, oh, you'll never lose 6 in a row, well, guess what? I've won 6 in a row multiple times, which means you can lose 6 in a row. So don't martingale. Anyway, here's the point I'm trying to make. 63 units is possible if you can win 6 in a row versus 3, 4, 5, 6 units. It's a big difference if you can grab the miracle. Now, everybody in gambling wants to play for the miracle, which of course never happens. Now, let's be more realistic about this, okay? And the purpose of today's show is to have you thinking about what's the best way to do it. Is it same betting and only getting 6 as my prize if we get 6 in a row? Or is it hammer pressing and getting 63? That's the two extremes, 6 or 63. That's your only choices, right? That's not your only choice. So I want to look at some of the other methods. And again, there's 100 craps channels out there doing shows, doing these kind of things. But let's talk about some of the different ways we can get after it. All right. Let me use a green unit as the example, and we'll do a 6 and 8 because 6 and 8s are easy to look at. Okay. They pay the worst of the box numbers, but they're easy to kind of go through. And let's just take a look at like 3 or 4 wins in a row. Not in a row, but 3 or 4 6s or 8s before a 7. Okay. Not a miracle roll. The other night I rolled like 20 something rolls, right? It wasn't the greatest roll. I had some poor numbers in there, but I did have a ton of 8s. I think I had 7 or 8 8s in that roll. How would you have done if somebody rolled 7 or 8 8s before a 7? And that's a really good look at it. Here we go. If you're going to same bet it, and I do recommend, by the way, everybody same bets the first one, right? You can pull back your win and lock up a tiny bit of profit. That's always a smart move. Okay, same betting the first one's always a smart move. Some people would say same betting the second one is probably a smart move. Now I've got my money back, I enough money to try it again, and extra profit. It's a great setup. This person, by the way, is always ahead of the pressing guy because they're pulling money back each time. But let's do a same bet the first one. On the second one, let's do a full press. Okay, we'll take our win and we'll take a little bit of profit and we'll do a full press. And then we'll do a collect. And the collection pays $70. So we'll collect the next one. So you full press, same bet first, full press the second one, so you bring almost nothing back, right? And then you do a same bet. You bring back a pretty good amount of money. The third one would again be a full press. It pays $70. We can do 75. 75 for 5. And we'll full press it. We'll go up to 120. It's 100. I'll get nickels. We'll go to 120 with it. And you can see the rhythm in your rack, right? When you do it this way, look at your rack rhythm, okay? Same bet, press. Money coming back, nothing coming back. Same bet, money coming back, press. Nothing coming back. Now we get 120 that pays 140. And there's your money coming back. It's a nice one. The next one would be a same bet, right? Or a press. The next one presses, so it pays 140. That's the one that you press on, and it goes to 280. Okay, so there's your difference, right? Same bet, press. Same bet, press. Same bet, press. And if you get lucky here, and I'm sorry, that's 240, right? And if you win your 280 back, or 240 wins 280, 275, 280, and then there's your nice win at the end. So same bet, press. Same bet, press. Same bet, press. When you do that, you stagger your wins. Every other one is a win. So you're kind of sitting out here with nothing for a half a minute. And that's a decent way to do it, right? You're gonna basically quadruple as you go, right? In the end here, you're getting black chips, which is kind of cool. All right. Another pressing rhythm is a unit press. And a lot of people are big fans of unit pressing or half unit pressing. Let's get reset. What I don't like about this, by the way, and this is because I'm a nerd, is all the colors. I don't like the color changes. So let's take a look here. We'll go $35 on the win. 35 on the win. Now, I don't have I'm going to give myself some whites in the bank. I'm going to give myself $5 on whites just so I have some whites. A half presser might say, well, roughly half of that, I'll go up by 12 bucks. Drop 2, go to 12, keep a quarter. Okay. Now I've got 42 on it. Okay. Which pays $49, right? So we're going to go to 25, 45. Okay. Right. And now again, we'll half by about half of what our win is. Okay. When you press by about half of what your win, you're looking at a whole bunch of mess out here. What do you have on the table? The easiest thing to do here is go to 60, right? Take some of this back. And the difference between this time and the last time is that every time we're bringing money back. So here's 5, there's a quarter. So notice that each time we're bringing back some money. Actually, that brings back 30. Now we have 60. This is easy. 60 pays 70. Half press it. So press it by about 30. You're at 90. And look at the difference here. You're bringing back a little bit of money each time. Matter of fact, you're bringing more money each time. 90 pays 105, right? 90 with 105 probably goes to 120. Bringing back 75. 120 brings back 140. And when you're here and you're here, you're probably going to go to 180, something like that. Maybe 150. I'd probably go to 180 here. Again, you're getting into weird numbers here. Let's go ahead and color these up to a green. So if I go there, I'll steal a quarter from my last win and go to 180 and look like that. Okay. So you'll see that every time when you half press, you bring a little bit more back. It takes you though to the 5th hit to get a black chip. The other guy had a black chip hit back in here. Okay. The acceleration is slower, but the consistent pullback is there if you do a little bit of a half press in between. Now that's another way to do it. There's a third option. This one here is called the double tap, which I know a lot of people know what this one is. Double tap is fun. The acceleration here is a lot less. But watch how this works. The double tap is simple. 20 pace or 30 pace 35. We'll do a full press. 60 pays 70. We'll do 75 for that 5 and back down to 30. So double tap is a full press and then a full regress. And look at what I've got. 105. After 2 hits, I've got $100. I've already got a black chip on the second hit. Okay. And you rinse and repeat. So again, we go to 60 with $5 extra. On that, we again, no collection here, a collection here, no collection here really, because we're going to take 75 for 5 and then come back down to 30. And again, you've got $105. So every other one, you're bringing back a black chip, which is kind of cool. The double tap. You go all the way up and all the way down, all the way up, all the way down. You never get the table max. You never have a ton of money out here, just your double tap money. And you're bringing back a black every other time at the green level. And that works for the 5 and 9 too. It's the same thing over here. The 5 and 9 had the exact same rhythm, right? 25 pays 35. It's easier. Go to 50, right? 50 pays, again, 75 for 5 to the bank. And you're back down to a quarter, and there's your black chip. So the double tap at green level always brings back a black chip every other time. If you're okay with waiting and pausing it through every other time, grab yourself a black chip. It's a cool way to play. If you want to be hyper aggressive, you can go when you're across. Let's just go doing a cross better. And again, all of these plays presume that you're already out of the hand, you already have profit, you're already satisfied. We talked yesterday. What if I had my $500 back in the rack and I had $200 in profit, right? Let's say I was at 500 and 200 and I'm ready to go home. I'm okay with that, going home. This all presumes you're already satisfied. This is already in your pocket and you're ready to rock and roll. This is your pedal down strategy. Now, what if you just went for color changes and you always full press? This is the super aggressive guy that wants to get table max, right? You only go for color changes, okay? Here, a win on a 6, right, would go to 60. no collect. A win on a 9 would go to 50 with no collect. Just a little bit of nothing coming back home, right? Maybe the 9 hits again, right? And it pays 75 for 5. You're going to go to black with it. Take a quarter, go to black. Maybe the 5 hits, and you're getting like, God, there's nothing happening here, right? I'm just pressing everything up, right? The 6 hits, and it goes again, 75 for 5, and now we'll get the 6 looking like $90 finally, right? Now I have 2 numbers that'll get me a black chip at some point, okay? If the 9 hits, 100 pays 140, now I'll collect it. I'll collect a new color when I get a chance to, okay? The color changer is 0 collect. And if I put this out, right, number by number by number, there was nothing coming back. There was nothing coming back but a couple of bucks. There was maybe we hit a 4 or whatever, right? You're getting nothing back all the way through. There's gaps where you're collecting nothing. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rolls in. And then you start catching black chips. Once you catch a black chip, I know a guy who plays this way. Once you catch a black chip, nothing else gets collected until something gets to purple. And what he says to me is this: if you're going to play this way, you're knowingly not going to collect on some of these nicer ones, but you're juicing up your chance to get to black faster. This same bet right here, even though it's nice to grab the black chip in your rack, makes it take 2 more hits to get to a purple chip. And that's what he's like. Let's just get to purple as fast as we can, right? So now we're going to look at the 6 and the 9 as the ways to get there. Let's say the 5 hits, right? 5 pays 75 for 5, and we'll put the 5 to $100 like we did with the 9, right? We have, again, some money in the rack here. It's kind of hard to kind of spread them out, but some money's coming back. And now we run, right? 5 hits for 140, right? You probably take this to 150. I'll take a quarter from over here and make it look like 250, right? And 250, if it does happen to hit, pays 350, which still isn't a black chip, right? What you do here, though, is you go to 375, because we know that 375 pays, and I'll take a couple of blacks there, that pays 5 1/4. This is your first chance of getting a purple chip. And you press aggressively until you can get a black. Nothing comes back till one of these numbers is up high enough to get a purple. You're just trying to get to different colors. And when that does pay 5 1/4, and you do same bet it the first time, the second time, it's a little faster, because the second time of 5 1/4, this bet goes to 750. $750, and that pays 1,000, right? So you start working your rack or working your bets super aggressively on a hot roll to get to black, to get to purple, to get to yellows. This is a 750 bet over here, right? That's hyper aggressive pressing. And again, this only is the kind of thing you do if you already had your goal in your pocket and you're like, I'm just going to take advantage of the hot shooter and I just don't care, right? You disconnect yourself from all of this and say, look, we're just going to try and get a black. We're going to try and get us, in this case, a purple. We're going to try and get us, in this case, a yellow. And that's it. You're just going to try and change colors and just be super aggressive. This, you can get to here in 2 or 3 hits if you never collect. But you got to be willing to never collect, and it's hard to do. So Ken and my friend Ken, my friend Waylon are going to be in the chats today. I'm going to get a phone call here in a minute that says, you are a maniac. Don't ever teach people this, right? What I want to do, though, is show you the difference in options, right? Because everybody's got a different bankroll. I had a guy the other day at the store who's like, hey, I got a huge bankroll. I want to find the way. He said, I'm willing to put up, 160 or 320 every time. I have the money to burn. I want to know how to make the most money possible. He doesn't want to grind. He doesn't want to get in and get out. He wants to know, how do I make the most money possible? This is the way that guy has to do that. You got to get the color changes. If that's your entire goal and you have the money to burn to do it, in our cases, most of us, if we have our goal locked up and we're in good shape and you're happy with this is a shot in the dark. Take your shot in the dark. If you're going to take a shot in the dark, take the shot, is what I'm saying here. So if I go back to us really quick, and give me a second here to do this. I got to find the screen that I want to get to. very quickly. Let's go here. How do I get there? Bam. Okay, we may have what do you call it? Glitzing of the camera here, but fact or fiction, aggressive, triple lux, like I kind of showed you, the color changer. That's one way to make a ton of money but never be collecting, right? You'll lose that more than you win it. Or more conservative patterns like same betting all the time, like a little up and pull, like I showed you with the half presser, up and pull, up and pull. That guy brought back money every single time. He brought back more money every single hit. He brought back more money. He increased his bet and he increased his win every single time. The same bettor just stuck it out, right? The double tap guy, I like double tap a lot, actually. I like when you go full press, full regress, full press, full regress. And that rhythm, it's bouncy, right? But it brings back a black chip on greens. It's a black chip every hit, right? If you're playing it at a higher level, you're playing at blacks, you're bringing back purples every time, right? Think about that. If you start at $100 on the 5, you at black chip, right? 100 goes to 250. 250 wins 350, and you're back down to 100. You're bringing back a purple chip every single time if you're playing at black level. Double tap is a great way to play. But these are more conservative, which are consistently bringing back money, versus the more aggressive, bringing back money very rarely. But when you do, it's always a lot. It's always a different color. So again, fact or fiction, hot or cold, whatever you want to call it, dumb or smart, where do you land? I want to know where you land when you see those things in real life. And I can do, again, a whole show on each of them. We can spend an entire hour going through the pros and cons of each of those pressing styles, right? And what it looks like for a player to play that way in real life with real dice. Matter of fact, tomorrow in Pressure Cooker, I may actually do that. We may roll out some dice and I'll play some of these different ways. We'll kind of log the rolls and sort of play different styles just so you can see it. And again, it's a rhythm thing. And it only works to me, only matters to me when I'm here, when I've already got my bankroll back and my profit locked up. When I'm in a spot where I've already got it, I'm locked, I'm at goal, and I want to get to the promised land from having a goal already locked, playing with excess out of that envelope. Those are some ways you can get there. And again, we talked earlier about transitions. How do I get to this place? Watch the other shows. How do you get to a place where you're allowed, quote unquote, to do that? And there it is. I'm going to run through some questions here really quick before I get back on the phone with my with the family and see how the puppies are doing. I know there was a little bit of a kerfuffle over there at the house today. So let me go run through some chats and see how badly you guys are killing me on this idea. So, all right. Vic says, same bet half press is preferable to power pressing. Otherwise, you're leaving money on the table. And I agree. I don't care about this. If you have dealers that can't figure their payments out, you're at the wrong casino. If you're going to be a power presser, play at a place where they can deal it. Right? That's one of the things, because that's a problem. But I would say to you this: it's harder for a dealer on the half presses because you're going from, green and red to green, red, and white, and you're changing 3 colors every time. That's more of a pain in the ass. It is as a dealer than hard pressing. That said, if you're going to same bet half press all the way through, you'll see that the you're always pulling back money, but your rise is very small. You'll never get to a black chip doing that. From a $30 bet, it'll take you 5-6 hits to even get your first black chip. It's so slow. If you want to grind and pull, that's great. But if your goal is to really have one of those days, and again, when you're on vacation, maybe that is your goal, tough way to play. All right, what else do we have here? Let's see. Yeah, for sure. When $42 hits, you get your 50 for 1 for sure. Let's see. Color Molly can be scary effective. Yeah, the Color Molly is actually pretty good. And I showed that before, actually. I did a thing once where I had a 50 roller, and I played 3 ways side by side on the same 50 rolls. It was actually real rolls from a casino, actually. And the Color Up Molly actually was one of the better ones. I think it won $2,500, and the Power Press guy won like 5,000. But the Power Press guy left 5,000 on the table. He won 5 and left 5. The color up guy won 2,500 and only had 900 bucks out there. So the burn rate was a little different. So, um, yeah, yeah, you can get aggressive playing with excess, and that's the key to it. It's got to be your excess money. You can't do what I just showed you out of your rack. Most people can't do it. But if you're ahead already and you're at goal and you're on vacation and all those, although you check all the boxes that say I'm allowed to do this, then those aggressive moves are fun. It's really fun when you're home and you're playing with bullshit fake money. It's really fun when you're playing on Crapsy and who cares money, right? It's a little less fun when you're at the casino and it's your money out of your pants and you're like, oh, God, I locked up 250 for my profit and I'm satisfied and I got $1,000 out here. And you go, I want that $1,000 in my pocket. And we all like regress, right? When you regress, it's great to have the grand in your pocket. At the same time, you'll never get a grand off the table. And it's a tough one, right? So yeah, the hardest part is getting to goal in the first place. And if we go back to the table, to Gary's point here, the hardest part is getting to the goal, right? And again, however you're gonna play, right? If you're the kind of guy that's gonna go for the thing, you're probably not playing the horseman. You're probably not playing even $100 like Ken does, don't pass spread. You're not doing $100 don't pass spread, right? With a point of 9 and dropping, the odds out here, and you're gonna win 100 here and 200 here. You're not gonna take that $300 win and go 160 across and press to the ceiling. You're not that guy, right? So I'm talking to people here that are the right siders that want to go nutso and have a good time. If you're going to be a grinder and play a don't pass spread or the horseman or one of those kind of bump on a pickle strategies to get your daily winner, this is not for you. This show was for this guy who's playing inside and wants to just play and get that hot roll and have the experience, right? That's what this is for, right? So you're going to start here, get even and get out. And again, getting even, very difficult. All right, that's it. I got the call. I got to go help my wife with the puppy. So I'm going to go ahead and bug out here, and I'll leave you with our let's go to me and Keynote here. I'll leave you with our last reminder from Lou. Stay in focus all the time, guys. Follow your plan. If your plan is to be aggressive, then follow your plan. Don't get FOMO because you were aggressive and didn't follow your plan, right? If your plan is to pull money every day and play a grinder, then play a grinder and follow it every day. Observe the conditions, control those emotions, understand what you're doing, and above all, stay disciplined. Being disciplined means leaving when you're up. It also means leaning in when you should. Discipline goes both ways. It does. Everybody have a great day. Love you all. God bless. See you in the morning, and we'll do a little pressure cooker tomorrow. And no, there it goes.